Today's video is sponsored by the OneFootball app. If you haven't done it already, head down to the description before this video starts, click the link and download it completely free of charge on iOS or Android. How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the Charlton Athletic Career Mode, where we are enjoying life in the Championship at the moment. So as you can see, we've got some training drills just to kick things off today. I did not realise that Stengs, our new right winger, had this bad finishing. 55 finishing is really horrendous for a winger, and I'm feeling to maybe even drop him for Diaz just until he gets that finishing up to at least like low 60s, where he's like at least a competent finisher of the football. Anyway, so all of these players, we're looking to raise their ratings over the course of the season. Let's just simulate all of these for now, see how everybody does. Not too bad, nobody raising up in ratings, but Grant as well, another guy who, once we get his dribbling stat up to like towards 80, I think he'll be like a 75, 76 rated player overall, which is really, really good, and hopefully in the future, looking towards the Premier League, he'll be a really competent striker. So let's advance and get into our first game, which is against Blackburn Rovers. Now, unfortunately, it is, I think it's away at Ewood Park. I'm fairly sure it is anyway. Oh, we've had a transfer offer for Jason Pearce. Let's deal with that later. Yeah, we are away at Ewood Park, and this game falls literally 2 days after our last game against Huddersfield, so the squad is pretty knackered and I'm going to have to rotate it. Alright, let's get into this game at Ewood Park against Blackburn Rovers. They were only recently promoted from League One. This will be their second season back up into the Championship. As you can see, we've rotated quite heavily our starting 11. Suzuki starts up front, Colin Bartow comes in, Mavropanos, Page, etc, etc. Another injury, this time to Mavropanos, which is not the best thing to see. It's currently 0-0 into the second half now. Somebody's going to nick a goal here. It just hopefully has to be us. We'll see if it is. Even a 0-0 away at Ewood Park wouldn't be horrendous, but can anybody nick a goal here, or is it going to end 0-0? It is actually going to end 0-0, so a point away at Ewood Park is not the worst thing in the world, you know. We'll take that point and we'll move on to our next home game. So let's check on that injury. Please don't be another long one. And it is going to be a 3-day injury, thank God for that. Alright guys, so I was just having a look at our transfer budget. So we have 280k with a 2k wage budget right now. That's not going to be enough to sign anybody significant in the rest of this transfer window. So what I can do is set up another scouting venture with Toby Bell. So let's set up a scouting network. Now it's time to pick a country. So we've got like 4 or 5 Chinese players from the last one in the squad. Now let's go somewhere interesting, shall we? I'm thinking maybe South America, but I will decide in a moment. So let's head off, and I don't know why, this is just really random and impulsive, but I'm going to get us to head off over here to Paraguay. If I can actually find it again. There it is, Paraguay, right in the middle of South America. We'll advance, and we're going to go with 3 months. Are we going to go for any particular type of player? I think maybe a striker could be a good player to get in. Hackett Fairchild probably won't be a great option in the future. We're probably going to have to loan him out or get rid of him in the future because he just won't be high enough rated. So I think we're going to go for 3 months for a Paraguayan attacker, and that will be where Toby Bell spends the next 3 months. So we've got this game against Bristol City next. I think it's a pretty winnable, simmable fixture. We've reverted back to the starting 11 that took us into that opening game of the season against Nottingham Forest. Let's have a look at Bristol City's lineup, and they have got Jada Silva, which is interesting that he yet again is not considered a Chelsea loan player. They get a red card there, and with De Silva, that is, oh, Lannis puts us 1-0 up. And I was just saying about De Silva, that is unless they bought him back after he returned from his loan, but that is very unlikely. We're currently winning anyway. Bonaventure comes on, a Pack equalises for them in the 59th minute. Can we get a winner here, somebody? Bonaventure's on the pitch. I know he's a decent player at this level, and unfortunately we can't. It's a 1-1 draw at the Valley. We'll take it. It's again, it's a point. It's not a loss. And, you know, this season, it's, like I said before, not entirely realistic to think that we're definitely going to get in that top 6. We obviously are aiming for it, but you know, points against teams at home, they're not as bad in this season as they were obviously last season, but we do want to be hitting a bit of form in this season. Let's go and have a look at these training drills right now. Let's sim them all. Stengs goes up, he gets his long shots up to a 50. Wow, that is incredible. He's up to a 73 rated, and none of the other players raising their rating overall quite yet. Now, let's go into our last game of the season and see if there are any office notifications between now and then. And actually, I think it is going to be deadline day before that as well. And imagine that, because we have shortlisted Jay Da Silva, it actually tells us that Bristol City have received an offer of 1.2 million for his services, 1.25, sorry. So that means that he is considered a Bristol City player, which means, I don't know why they don't consider him a Chelsea player. It's so odd. But yeah, we could potentially buy him in the future. I mean, not that him being at Chelsea or Bristol City really makes a difference in that regard, but it's just interesting to know. I thought you might like to know as well. We do have this game against Wolves coming up, and it is on deadline day, so what I'm going to do is I am going to play it. It's against a very, very good, strong side. They've been relegated from the Premier League. A loan offer for Lanes and a transfer offer for Lanes. No way either of those going through. But yeah, it is against a very, very good side, so I do want it in my own hands, and I am going to play it, and hopefully we can grab our first win in quite a while. So here we are, ladies and gents, at Molineux. This is going to be one of the toughest opponents that we come up against in the entire season. They're a hugely supported team. I can't believe they actually got relegated with some of the players they've got. I don't know if they've still got João Moutinho. We're about to find out the lineup, so let's see what they've got to offer and what we are coming up against right now. So Wolves lineup for you first then, and they have got a fair few very good players here. They've got Patricio in goal, like 83 rated keeper, Doherty, Bath, Wally and Cody at the back as well. I think they might be playing 5, yes they are, and obviously Masuaku on the left, Ruben Neves and Oua in midfield, Adama Traore, Bonatini and Diego Jota are the front three for them, so very, very formidable opponent. De Boer in goal for us, Steek-Stilbauer, Foyt and Page at the back, Forster-Caskey the captain next to Joe Aribo. I don't know why Forster-Caskey's the captain, might have to go in and change that after this game. Fosu is in the CAM position, Lanes, Stengs and Colin Grant up front, and I want one of them three to get off the mark for this season in this game. Great tackle from Fosu. Lanes wins the ball back. And I think Grant's going to find a nice ball over to Tariq Fosu. Fosu, shoot! Fosu goes for the near post rather than the far post with his left foot. And Patricio is always going to save that one. Here comes the corner. It's going to be Lanes. Floated in nicely. Header straight into Rui Patricio's arms again. Adama Traore yet again down this right-hand side. Will he get the cross in this time? He tries to wriggle his way past. He's got a really nice cross in. And Diogo Jota manages to get on the end of it for Wolves and puts them 1-0 up against Charlton here at Molineux, and that was just brilliant work from Adama Traore, and he has been threatening the entire game to put in a cross like that eventually somebody gets on the end of and sticks it in the back of the net. Really nice, poked in, met by Jota. Interesting finish, and it makes its way past the keeper De Boer for 1-0 to Wolves. So there goes the halftime whistle, boys and girls. We are losing 1-0, and I've been in such bad goal scoring form in this career mode lately. There are the halftime scores, but we're going to not waste any time here and try and get into the second half where hopefully we can at least score a bloody goal. Grant's going to release Stengs. Stengs now with an opportunity to get a nice cross in, and he tries. Are we going to challenge the keeper? It's into the net, but that is going to be a foul. That was almost one of those FIFA glitches there, but they did give the foul in the end. And here comes a substitution for, oh no, they're bringing on João Moutinho. That is not great. And off comes Houssem Aouar. And we bring on Suzuki and Bonavecchia for Aribo and Stengs. Come on, 20 minutes left to try and grab a goal here. Oh, I thought that had gone in. I wasn't really commentating over it, but Suzuki comes on, fires a shot, the number 13, and just leapt over at the perfect moment by Colin Grant, and it just soars wide of Rui Patricio's net there. Unlucky. Forster-Caskey. And it's going to be back to Forster-Caskey now. Forster-Caskey works away for a shot. Oh, just wide again from Forster-Caskey, and we're having a few more chances in the closing stages of this game now. Forster-Caskey this time just past the post. No touches from any defenders. Oh, another 2 inches to the left, and that was in the bottom right-hand corner. Lanes. Oh, it's a beautiful ball up to Colin Grant. Colin Grant in the box now, and he's been bodied there. Ah, unlucky. It's going to be Suzuki. Suzuki to Bonavecchia, back to Suzuki. Suzuki still with the ball. Suzuki shoot, and I think that might be the last chance. No, Colin Grant. Colin Grant turn. Colin Grant shoots, and into Rui Patricio. I don't think we're going to get another chance as this goes up the field now, unless we win this header. We actually do. One more chance here. It's going to be through and away from Bolly again. Maybe one more chance. And it is. We've got the ball here with Suzuki. Suzuki to Colin Grant. Colin Grant shoots, hits the bar. And the header comes back in. No, that had to be a better header for Forster-Caskey. Surely we can score an actual bloody goal in this series at some point. Honestly, I just don't know what I have to do to score. And that, I thought that the chance was gone twice on 2 separate occasions there, but Wolverhampton Wanderers take the 3 points today, and I'm telling you, we'll come up against worse opponents than that in the future. But guys, I'm sorry, I can't score for the life of me at the moment. I've got decent players on the pitch, and I just don't know what's happening at the moment. We haven't even scored in open play for about 4 games, and this was the goal, actually, that ruined us. And annoyingly, I feel like this was... okay, it was a good goal. It was a really perfectly executed technique from Hothead there, and our player ratings actually reflect a pretty good performance again from Charlton, but we just don't have the person on the end of things at the moment. Colin Grant's playing well but not scoring. Suzuki again made a decent impact off the bench, and Forster Kaski got man of the match that time, so hopefully in the future we can net some goals. There are the other scores. And after that, we'll progress to see where we are in the table. It's deadline day, guys. So what we're going to do, we're going to save the progression of deadline day for the next episode of the Charlton Career Mode. So make sure you leave a like on this one for me, and I'll see you in the next episode. Subscribe to the channel, hit the notifications bell as well, and I'll catch you next time. Cheers, guys. See you later, and sweet.